Thank you, General Klotz. We'll begin 5-minute rounds of questions, and I'll begin. General, I'd like to start with questions in this round devoted to the uranium facility where you're going tomorrow. Am I correct that you're able to carry appropriated funds over from one year to the next?
Yes, we are.
On that facility. And one of the complaints we've sometimes had about inefficiency is that the jerky quality of the appropriations process sometimes costs waste money, right?
It does.
So having a sustainable flow of dollars based upon a plan can help save money as well by speeding things up and avoiding the jerkiness of the process.
You're absolutely right, Senator.
The budget request for this year is $430 million. What do you need that much money for this year?
Well, in the coming year, we will use this funding to develop the detailed design and safety analysis for the 3 principal facilities which we will ultimately construct. That's a mechanical and electrical building, it's a salvage and accountability building, and it's the main process building. It will also allow us to initiate the last phase of some site preparation activities, including large-scale excavation and backfill in order to make the site ready to start facility construction activities in fiscal year 7.
So it's all design and site preparation, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Well, there'll also be, excuse me, Senator, there'll also be some long lead procurement things that for specialty equipment like the specialized glove boxes that are necessary to work with radioactive materials. Those are very highly complex pieces of equipment that require long lead time, so we need to begin the process of procuring those.
When will the design of these buildings be 90% complete?
We expect on the current schedule for that to be during fiscal year 2017.
And can you confirm that the designs of the uranium buildings will be 90% complete before the construction begins?
Yes, for those 3 facilities, which are the nuclear facilities associated with, for the uranium processing facility, we will be 90% complete before we begin construction in accordance with our own Department of Energy orders, 413.3B to be precise, that we follow very carefully.
So 2017 would be the date, the estimated date for 90% design completion?
Yes, sir.
And based on that date, will the buildings be completed on time to meet your commitment to be operational by 2025?
Yes, sir. It's still our intent to be on track to have this work done, be out of Building 9212, which, as you know, is the oldest and facility that we have there, by 2025 at a cap of $6.5 billion.
Well, that was going to be my last question. Are you still on track to finish the facility under the $6.5 billion cost cap?
Yes, sir, we are.
Well, I thank you for that. And Senator Feinstein and I have been pretty aggressive the last 2 or 3 years on that. And I appreciate the response of NNSA, its work, and that of the Red Team, because we basically have an agreement, as I understand it, that construction won't begin until we're 90% complete with design, and you said that is expected to be in 2017, that the buildings will be completed by 2025, and the budget cap is $6.5 billion or less.
Yes, sir. But it's important that we continue to do some of the site preparation work that is already underway. In fact, one of the reasons for going to Oak Ridge tomorrow is to celebrate the completion of the first sub-project that we had in terms of preparing the site for the construction of these 3 facilities. And in fact, we had budgeted $65 million to do some road work associated with the vehicles that will have to come in and out of the construction site. We have done some grading, we've done potable water lines. And as I said, we budgeted $65 million for that, and it came in significantly below that. Our next step in this process, which we're ready to begin immediately, is to do what we call Site Infrastructure and Services Sub-Project. Again, these are the things that any large construction project would have to do. For instance, we will need to put a concrete batch plant on the facility, and a very unique concrete batch plant because this has to pour nuclear qualified concrete. We will, as any construction project, will need to build construction support buildings to house the people who are doing work there, which will ultimately be 1,700 construction people doing that. And we estimate that that will be a total of $78 million for total project cost for this particular aspect of the work. And as I said, we're ready to start immediately, and we expect to have that completed in the spring of 2018.
Well, my time is up, but I'm going to ask this question because it involves both Senator Feinstein and me. I celebrate any example of your coming in under budget. In multi-billion-dollar projects, even $10 million is an encouraging sign to me. And I like the idea that there seems to be now clear accountability. Someone's on the flagpole for meeting the goals that we have. We've used the example of the nuclear Navy. My staff reminded me that not only has the nuclear Navy not had a reactor accident resulting in a death, it hasn't had a reactor accident. Am I correct about that?
Yes, sir, that's true.
Over 60 years. And a lot of that comes because Admiral Rickover, who I believe interviewed you as well, Mr. Richardson, is that?
Several times, Senator, he did, before I got it right.
And he probably told you that if you had a problem with a reactor, your career was over. Did he say something like that?
Sir, that's a tenet of our program at every level, yes, sir.
Yeah. So this accountability is important. So the one question would be, we've had meetings, Senator Feinstein, with the accountability team at the uranium processing plant. I wanted to suggest that maybe a good schedule for that might be twice a year. We could do it more often if you would like. And you might suggest to us when it would be useful, most useful to us and to you, to have just an informal meeting where we get an assurance that we're on time and on budget with the head of the project. So will you think about that and suggest to us whether twice a year with the head of the project sounds about right? And if so, what times of the year would make the most sense?
Yes, sir, and thank you so much for that offer because we have really benefited from your strong leadership, your insight, and your counsel as we move forward through this over the last couple of years. So we'll work with your staff and find the time. I know you've got a very busy hearing schedule to finish, and as soon as we would like to get in sooner rather than later to do that. We're anxious to let you know the issues associated with this particular project, the successes, as well as the challenges that lie before us. I think it's a good news story. As I said, we benefit from your counsel.
Thank you, Senator Feinstein.